I want to get into a little bit more about my birthday. This is part 2 of the video. I call it the night that kept on giving, and it didn't give in a positive way. From the time that we got there, we were running late a little bit, but we would have been okay time-wise if everything had went smoothly. But it didn't. So that's what I mean by the night just keeps on giving. The night kept on giving because I had a parking pass. I wanted to make sure that that was covered, wouldn't be an issue. So we get to the parking lot. The woman tells me, it would have been cheaper just to go directly through her, which it was only $15. That would have been cool. I wasn't too mad about it. What could you do after you do something? It's like calling the doctor after death. It's nothing you could do. So anyway, had to take an Uber from the parking lot that we was at to the venue because basically it was 8 blocks. My significant other had heels on, and I knew it was just the best thing to do. So got the Uber there, got to the venue. I described in the first video how it was, how many people was around, how it reminded me of the 2016 Warrior Parade where, basically the Transformers, the cell towers rather, they was jammed because there was so many people around for that event. And, to this day, Janet Jackson is Janet Jackson, and it's a huge event. She's arguably the biggest icon left on the face of the planet, we done lost Prince, we done lost Michael, we done lost Rick James, the important people in life, they're pretty much gone rather. So I looked at it like this concert was a must-do, no-brainer. And when my significant other asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday, it was a no-brainer. This is something that I should do. So we get to the venue, tickets don't work. They give us the runaround. They send us to the box office. Then they send us back inside. Mind you, we had to keep going through the metal detector. That's why I said that in the first video the customer service sucked, because it really did suck. It's like people had a bad attitude, but yet they're working the job. It's like customer service, you're supposed to be there for the customer, and you're supposed to be helping and accommodating in any type of way, and I got anything but that. So finally, we got on the inside. We got where we were supposed to be. They gave us the a guest password so that we was able to access the internet. That didn't help the situation with Stub Hub. Tickets still wasn't downloading. I downloaded I attempted to download, then I let my significant other, she jumped in and, to her credit, I'm like, she really did a hell of a job. And, I couldn't say thank you enough, because all I wanted that night for things on my birthday to go right. But like Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong did go wrong, and it did. It showed up and showed out. I have never had a birthday like that in my life where things were just awkward. And it's just like in baseball, when somebody makes an error, it should have been a sure out, and it's one of those things where somebody might miss a catch or botch the ball or whatever, and the ball is just going everywhere but the right place. That's what happened that night. So to explain it in more detail, I had to buy some more tickets, because basically the tickets were not downloading like they were supposed to do, and it had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with my significant other. It just wasn't working, So, of course, later on that night, I did my due diligence and I followed up on the tickets. But I'm going to move along in this story because that's way ahead. in the future. And I got a few more things to say about the venue itself and just the experience or lack of the true customer experience that we should have had going to a Janet Jackson concert. So anyway, we get inside, finally, after I decide that I'm going to buy the tickets and, I'll deal with this other shit later, with the Stub Hub debacle. And yes, it was a debacle on that, from that aspect. We get inside, by this time I got to use the restroom. So I'm like, that's my first thing. Where's the restroom at? So we finally get inside. It took us so long to get inside that Nelly had already performed, basically. Nelly was the opening act for Janet Jackson, and he performed. We didn't get to see him. So you can only imagine how late we was. Nelly might have had, I want to say maybe a 30-minute set, 30 to 45-minute set, maybe 45 tops, because it was just him and Janet Jackson. When we got in the venue, which is the Chase Center out in San Francisco, Nelly was nowhere to be found. Nelly might have well been AWOL or missing in action. We didn't even have a clue that Nelly had been on the stage because that's how long it took us to get inside the venue. So once we get inside the venue, it gets no better. The night keeps on giving, and it keeps giving in a negative way. So we get inside the venue, and it's a thing of like, we're way up on the second deck, which we would have been up there anyway, because the original seats that I had for Stub Hub was right around 211, but it was right in front of the stage because I looked and I knew what I was looking for, and I'm pretty good at reading diagrams and maps and shit like that and getting the idea and the feel for the venue. So they put us on the left side of the venue. Mind you, this stadium is more for basketball. In my opinion, it's not a concert-friendly venue, Chase Center. It was the first time that I've been there. It's a whole new venue. I expected more as far as the customer service, the experience of being in the Chase Center, home of the Golden State Warriors. It was just off. The whole night was off. From them not having enough monitors where you could see Janet up on the stage. They only had monitors in front of the stage and nowhere else in the venue. So if you sitting where we were, you had to look for the monitors, or at the front of the stage, or you don't get to see Janet unless you're looking from your phone, which my significant other, she was pretty smart from that aspect. We got to kind of look from the phone, and I would look up between the monitor and her phone, So that's how we saw the concert. But there was more going on. There wasn't enough ushers for the event, so when Janet performed, the only thing worse than like a general admission concert, which it wasn't, but they used those concerts back in the day for the rap concerts. Rap concerts used to be general admission. You get in where you fit in. This wasn't that, but it was almost as bad from the aspect of people kept standing up. And because it was due to the lack of ushers that they had at the event, nobody was telling these people, hey, you need to sit down and be respectful of the other people so they could see the performance. You had total chaos going on. You had people standing up in front of you. You had people trying to get to their seats, whether they was coming in late or trying to get to the bathroom or whatever the case may be. You had activity around you, and so you couldn't even get into the concert if you wanted to. And I honestly didn't get into the concert because it was so much turmoil coming into the concert and getting in there, and then we finally get in there, it was no rest for the weary. So I was still kind of wound up with all the previous incidents that happened earlier in the night and the trials and tribulations that I went through just to get into the concert. It shouldn't have been that hard. If I paid for a ticket, I should be able to get into the concert. It's as simple as that. But it wasn't that. Oh, but I'm not done yet. So we have a drunk lady that, somebody is holding her up because she's inebriated and she'd had too much to drink, and it's like a thing of, we're so high up that I'm praying for her. I'm like, I hope she don't fall, because if she falls, she's just gonna keep on going, because the venue was that steep, and it's like, if you did fall, you good as gone. The banister ain't gonna save you. There's not a whole lot of ushers around, and the venue from that aspect was horrible. Janet did her thing from what I seen, and when I was kind of locked in, she had minor issues with the microphone, but there was times that we couldn't hear her. But overall, Janet did her thing, and she was on time. I'm not blaming Janet in the least for my trials and tribulations that I went through. I blame the people, the management, and the people that is around that aspect of it, the business side, and not the Janet side. Janet did what Janet does. Don't get it twisted. So, fast forward. After the concert is over, we have to get out of here. So, once again, I'm like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, so I hit the bathroom before I left. My significant other, I spotted her right away when I came out, and, we navigated our way out of there. Oh, but it got better. By this time, if anybody knows about the city gets cold in the evening. It gets ridiculously cold. I got on a silk shirt. My significant other, she has on a small jacket. So I felt bad for her because she's cold. It's a bad experience. I'm kind of cold. But, it doesn't end there. The night just keeps on giving. So then we trying to get back outside. We made it back outside. I say, hey, we gonna have to walk a few blocks because it's congested over here, and we gotta find a place where the Uber will come and pick us up, because we gotta get back to our vehicle. So of course that wasn't easy either. That shit took a lot of time and effort and shit. Meanwhile, my significant other out there freezing. All I could do is rub on her and love her. I'm like, I didn't have nothing else to offer but my warmth. And it just wasn't enough because I was slightly cold myself. So, meantime, we got these scammers out there, they to position themselves to take advantage of people. So, they looking for people that are suckers, I'll give you a ride to your vehicle for $80. I'm like, you lost your damn mind. I will die on the hill before I pay $80 for anything, and my car just a few blocks. You trying to run game on me? I'm like, I'm from the other side of the bay. Shit, home of the game. You can't run no game on me. We had a couple of people come up like that, I'm like, and they gouged it to the fullest. $80, $100 just to go back to your vehicle. No, we called the Uber. So we waiting out there for the Uber. A lot of traffic, a lot of people coming out the venue. You got the police got streets sectioned off, and it's a presence out there. So we knew it was gonna be a minute, but I swear to you, it seemed like that night would never end. So finally, about 30 to 45 minutes later, the Uber driver says he's around, and so, we looking for him. So then we walk across the street where I thought we had found our Uber driver, but it wasn't him. So then, I'm talking to him on the phone the whole time. He says he's across the street, but he's on the opposite corner of where we are. So fortunately, he waited for us, and we finally found him. We was happy to find him, and he was a nice guy. He did his job. And he got us back to our vehicle. So thankfully, we get back to our vehicle, and I am so happy to get the hell out the city. I am overjoyed, and so is my significant other, because by that point, we had a hell of a night. And that was our night with Janet in a nutshell. Once again, Janet did her thing for what I seen. I would have liked to be more focused and more into it and not went through the shenanigans, the trials and tribulations of going to that Janet concert. But Janet did her thing. Janet has no fault here. It's like, fuck Stub Hub and fuck the Chase Center. I will never go see a concert there again. I guarantee you that. I would have to hear about significant improvements, because there's too many shenanigans that went around just getting to that concert and making it to see Janet.